Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Pilgrim. I'm the director of the LINK program. You guys are all enrolled in a class called LINK 101, and that's our freshman year experience seminar class. And we're calling this first class because this is the first time we get to meet with you, and also because we think a lot of you. We think that you're first class. So thank you for coming. Hope you enjoy those planners. Make sure you bring those planners with you to every class that you go to in LINK 101, as well as all your other classes as well. So that's complimentary to you. But that is our required textbook for the LINK 101 class. So you don't have to worry about purchasing one. So we do have a little bit of a tight agenda this morning, and I'll get to talk to you a little bit more, but we have a couple of speakers that would love to be able to talk to you just for a few minutes. So I'm going to let them come on up. So Angel, if you would come on up to the steps here. I'm going to introduce our first speaker who is going to welcome you to Greenwood and the Lakelands region. This is Angel Laborde. Angel arrived in South Carolina 12 years ago and now calls Greenwood her home, originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. She relocated here to become the first female executive of the 104-year-old Greenwood Chamber of Commerce. She is a 22-year veteran of the Chamber of Commerce Management and received the prestigious Certified Chamber Executive designation in 2015. She enjoys giving back to her profession and to local community organizations. She currently serves as the president of the Greenwood Rotary Club, has been active with the Y, the United Way, the South Carolina Festival of Flowers, and the local tourism bureau. She received a bachelor's degree from Louisiana State University and a master's degree in human resource management from the Florida Institute of Technology. In her spare time, she has some spare time. In her spare time, she enjoys gardening, traveling to the beach, and spending time with her 17-year-old son. Matthew, please give Angel a warm welcome.
We're going to practice a little active listening. You're here at LANDER. You're going to be sitting through a lot of courses. And so I'm going to ask you one question. How many children do I have? One. Very good. Thank you. And you know why I asked that question is because I think all of you are number one. You've made the decision to come here to LANDER University and to be here in Greenwood, South Carolina, and we couldn't be more proud of all of you, so thank you so much. First of all, I want to welcome you to Greenwood and to our exciting community. I represent 500 local businesses that employ our residents and offer important products and services that you're going to be buying over the next 4 years. It's important to us that we maintain a very vibrant community and one where our quality of life is second to none. And did you know that Greenwood was named a great place in America last fall by the American Planning Institute? That was quite an accomplishment for our community. And over the last 10 years, we've worked really hard to improve our small town. And so one of the things I want to encourage you to do is I want to encourage you as you're doing your studies and you have the time, we want you to get engaged in this community and to stay involved. We're proud of Landers University, their legacy. We're proud of the students. And for decades, LANDER has provided our community with quality graduates and top-notch workers, supplying Greenwood with educators, nurses, medical professionals, business graduates, just to name a few. And I promise if all of you reach out to our community, they're going to respond. They want your assistance. They need your expertise. They know you are on the cutting edge. And so we value your input and we value your leadership. We've had a number of LANDER University interns at the Chamber of Commerce, and they were phenomenal, and they've gone on to do great things. So there are lots of volunteer opportunities in this community as you grow and develop. We've got a number of United Way and human service organizations that could use your assistance. They have lots of fundraisers and offer sporting events like 5K runs and walks and bicycle rides, and they may need some volunteers to greet the participants. We also have a popular festival season here that starts in late May and goes throughout the summer. You might have heard about the barbecue event or the Festival of Flowers. They always need help in organizing and event planning. So we also need college students to work with the youth here in Greenwood and our after-school programs in some of our schools. So I'm encouraging you to get active, and I want you to get active in LANDER. In 4 years, you're going to have something to put on your resume, so we want you to join a club or organization that interests you. I'm going to be right back here next Wednesday for your community event, and we're going to be talking about a new club on campus called Rotaract, which is an extension of the Rotary Service organization that I'm a part of. If you're in Uptown, I want you to stop by the chamber and say hello. We've got lots of materials about our businesses, and you can stop by and pick up maps and visitor guides if you're in Uptown. But I want to take a moment, I want to tell you a little bit about Greenwood and about some things that you might need to know about our community. First off, our downtown is actually called Uptown. So that's the first thing that probably confuses some people. That downtown is called Uptown. It's only about a mile away from campus. Many of you are going to end up venturing down that way. And the street that Uptown is on, the street outside the campus, it actually is kind of confusing. It's called three things. It's called Montague Avenue, it's called Main Street when you hit Uptown, and it's also US Highway 25. So again, we want you to come Uptown. We also have one of the widest main streets in the world, and one of the reasons why is we had 3 or 4 railroad tracks going through the center of town, and in the late 80s we pulled those up, put in the beautiful trees that we have today, and rerouted the trains. And you're going to love to look at our Uptown during the holiday season. It's lit with thousands of lights, and holiday decorations are everywhere. And often there's some classic car shows on the weekends. There's numerous 5K runs and bike rides that start in Uptown, so you're going to figure out where that is pretty quickly. And I know you were going to figure that out because I know you guys like to eat, right? Everybody likes to eat?
Yes.
Lots and lots of restaurants here in Greenwood. So there's tons of restaurants in Uptown, over a dozen. And then, of course, on the bypass, we have lots of chain restaurants, which many of you will find. We've got unique places like the Dixie Drive-In, Miggs Pizza, Sports Break. We've got the Auto Drive-In down on the south side of town, and it's got some fabulous cheeseburgers. And for a lot of you folks that like late night, we've got 2 Waffle Houses, 2 Huddle Houses, as well as a cookout. And I can tell you that my son loves the cookout at about 10 o'clock at night for burgers and fries. So I bet he'll meet all of you there. So why do we have so many restaurants? And this is kind of interesting for Greenwood. It's because we are the center of 6 other counties. And a lot of the folks that live in those counties come here to work, to enjoy restaurants, to visit, to worship. And so we're the hub. And another interesting name, you'll know our area, we are also known as the Lakelands region. And another interesting thing, you'll hear this area referred to as the Gleams region. And a lot of times you'll say, what the heck is Gleams? Well, Gleams, it's an acronym. The first letter stands for the surrounding counties: Greenwood, Lawrence, Edgefield, Abbeville, McCormick, Newberry, and Saluda. So that's what the Gleams area means. We also are the only county in that area with an enclosed mall. Now, our mall's made some progress. It's small. There's Belk, there's JCPenney's, and of course there's now Kohl's and Ross. We've had a lot of retailers come to town recently. I know you guys are going to figure that out, and I've got a news flash for you. I'm assuming there's some Old Navy fans out there, and Old Navy's going to be back in Greenwood this fall, so that's exciting news for us here in Greenwood. We've got lots of art and entertainment options in Uptown. We've got exhibits, there's a barbecue cook-off, there's free concerts, there's theatrical performances. We've got the Arts Council, the Greenwood Community Theater, we have the museum. We have a railroad historical museum and great railroad historic cars. Lots of interesting things here in Greenwood. Live performances and concerts at the Uptown Market. Those happen from April through October. They're free. You guys need to come on out. And also lots of unique history here in Greenwood when you have time on the weekends. We have the 96 National Historic Site, Cokesbury College. We've got a new Veterans Center Military Museum, as well as the Dr. Benjamin E. Mays Historic Site. And he was a very famous person who grew up here in Greenwood and went on to do wonderful things. I think many of you probably like the outdoors, and if you don't know, we have a beautiful lake called Lake Greenwood. We have a brand new restaurant on the lake called Break on the Lake. Lots of fun things. We have a state park where you can enjoy the outdoors. A couple of quick websites, and I'm about to close up, is I want you to find Greenwood, our website, the Greenwood SC Chamber website. We also have the uptowngreenwood.com website. and visit greenwoodsc.com. We also have and are very active on social media, and so I'm going to leave you with your first homework assignment. So I want you to remember me by this homework assignment. I'd like you to go, for those of you that are on Facebook, and find the Greenwood SC Facebook page. I want you to like the page. I want you to like the Lander post that I made this morning before I came here, saying how excited I was to welcome all of you. So you need to like the Chamber Facebook page. You need to like the post. And if you do, and you do this by 5 o'clock on Tuesday, we're going to pick 4 names, and you're going to get a $25 gift certificate to a local restaurant. So we're excited. We know you're going to love Greenwood. And we have a little saying here in Greenwood, we're all about flowers and topiaries, Festival of Flowers. There's always something blooming in Greenwood, and I know all of you are going to be blooming, positive, wonderful students. Welcome to Greenwood. Call the Chamber anytime. We're looking forward to having you here the next 4 years. Congratulations.
All right, well, just remember that I did not give you your first homework assignment, okay? I failed to mention, I direct this program, but I also teach Link 101. I'm an associate professor of biology as well. I teach microbiology. So if you're in the biology major, you may have me one day. And if you're in the honors program, you may have me for your Link 101 section. I teach both the honors and Link 101 sections. So I'm going to introduce our next speaker. Our next speaker is Dr. Jim Colbert. Jim, if you would come on up. Dr. Colbert is our interim provost, which is the top academic officer on campus. So he's sort of my boss's boss. So he's my boss too. But he's going to welcome you to Lander, and I'll let Jim take it away.
Thank you, Mark. Good morning to everybody. I'm excited to be here today to welcome you on behalf of the president of Lander University. He and I want to welcome you and make sure that you understand that we are committed to helping you succeed in your college endeavors here. It's certainly fitting that your first class for Link 101 is held in this arena, because we also use this arena for our graduation ceremonies. There'll be a stage placed across this end of the room. The graduating students and the faculty are seated in chairs out here on the floor, and all of your friends and relatives will be seated where you are today and on the other side of the room. Imagine yourself in 4 years walking across the stage in this room to get your college diploma, confident that you have the knowledge and skills needed for your chosen career. I've reviewed data on your freshman class, and I see that you're a class with strong academic potential and strong academic credentials. Today, you're going to be introduced to the LINK program. LINK stands for Leadership, Involvement, Networking, and Knowledge. The program is designed to help you develop the knowledge and skills and the attitudes and dispositions to make the most of your college experience, but also to help you be successful after graduation in launching your career. Behind me on the screen is the vision and mission statement for Lander. Notice in the vision statement that we talk about preparing you to launch your career. Lander chose the word career for a special reason. Some people talk about jobs, some people talk about careers. There's an important distinction between being prepared for a job and being prepared for a career. A job is simply work that you do for a paycheck. We believe that a career is one where you take on leadership roles, you're involved and engaged in the business's vision for its success, You network with other professionals in similar careers, and you have the knowledge and the skills to excel in your role. Did you hear it? Link. So Link 101 is your first step in cultivating the lifelong knowledge, skills, attitudes, and dispositions necessary to be successful in your chosen career. So we hope that you enjoy your Link program and that it provides you with that foundation to help you move on through your college career and then on into a professional career later on. So again, on behalf of the president of LANDER, I welcome you to LANDER. And he and I both look forward to hearing your names called at graduation 4 years from now as you walk across the stage here in this room and prepare to launch your career, whatever that is for you. So thank you very much. Welcome to the
All right. Thanks, Dr. Colbert. Appreciate that. Welcome on behalf of the president. The president sends his regards. He was called away at a mandatory meeting in Columbia today, so he's being pulled in all sorts of directions because of that. So, Jim just mentioned that you guys will graduate in this gym, in this arena, and it won't be set up exactly like this. So you'll just have to imagine. So you'll have to think with your imagination. You'll have to think about the end. All right, so keep the end in mind. In some of your Link classes, and definitely by the end of your Link class, no matter what section you have, we're going to talk to you about the 7 habits of highly effective people. And the second habit is begin with the end in mind. And so we've begun with the end in mind, your graduation from LANDER University. But I'm going to talk to you about the first habit just a little bit. And that first habit is be proactive. And be proactive gives you the ability to choose. It is your ability to choose. It is your response. You are in control of your responses to any situation. You are responsible. Be proactive. A lot of times in life, circumstances will come against you, and you'll be in a perfect storm of things. I'm sure it's happened to you in your life before. It'll happen to you again, and it'll keep happening to you. Bless you. And the trick is how you're going to respond to that situation, your circumstances. Your circumstances don't determine your reactions. You determine your reactions. You do. So don't be reactive. Be proactive. Be responsible. Be responsible. I should have told you. In the class, you're required to attend events like this one. This counts as one of the 8 required events that you go to. So I'm glad that you came. Take a few notes. You got a planner. That's going to be a required text. Go ahead and put your name in the front of that planner. So if you do leave it here today, we can get it back to you. If you didn't bring a pen, you weren't prepared, were you? Always bring a pen with you. Always bring a pen or pencil. I always have one in my pocket. Well, I'm a nerd too, so that's why, I always have a pen. Well, go ahead and put your name in the front of that planner. I want to direct you to page 4 in your planner. I know, it's like your first lesson. What is Link? How about you tell me what Link is? You've heard it already. Leadership. Yeah, the N is not for knowledge. Networking. Knowledge. Good. And it's on page 4. Our mission, let me put that on the screen for you. All right, so this is our LINK program vision and mission. So our vision is what we see for you. This is what we see for you. And our mission is how we're going to operationalize that. I got a little tongue-tied there a little bit. Sorry. How we're going to do it. So this is our vision for you, that you know yourself. That's part of being proactive. You got to know your own strengths and weaknesses. You got to know what your triggers are. You got to know if you only have 2 hours of sleep that you're going to snap at people, and then control your reaction to certain situations. I'm teaching / preaching like I am an expert on this stuff, but this is stuff you struggle with all your life. To connect students, notice connect, link. To connect students to the knowledge and experiences necessary to successfully complete their major programs and to graduate from Lander University, just like Dr. Colbert was talking about. We want to see you cross that stage right over there in 4 years. And I just read the mission, I'm sorry. So vision, know yourself, know your direction. Know your direction is know where you want to go. Begin with the end in mind. That second habit of highly effective people, knowing yourself is being part of being proactive, that first habit. And then the last one, understand how to get there. That's actually part of the third habit, which is put first things first. Putting things in a particular order, prioritizing your tasks so you can reach your goals. So that's our vision for you. We want you to master those 3 things. Knowing yourself, knowing your direction, and understanding how to get there. We center on Link 101, but there are lots of other opportunities for you in Link. We have 8 events that you'll attend throughout the semester. We have lots and lots of events to choose from, but you're required to go to 8. This can count as one of those 8 events. So if you're taking notes, because you do have to write a reflective essay. So you have to write a little bit about your experience in the class. But your instructors will talk to you about that next week. You do have class next week, so make sure you go. Some of you have class on Monday, the first day of classes. And we like to hit the ground running, so we're going to go ahead and start doing stuff in class that first day, so don't miss that first day of class. Or any day after that, if you can. So, we have our Link 101. We have our 8 required events. You'll notice that when you log into Blackboard, you probably have talked about Blackboard in orientation. I can't show you real quickly. We don't have our Wi-Fi on, but when you get to class that first day, they'll talk to you about some of your first assignments. If you can get to Blackboard, you can go ahead and start completing your assignments. They're already out there for you. And get ahead of it. Be proactive. So we do have that. We have core assignments. You'll be working with instructors in various disciplines. You're in a Link course based on your major, for the most part. If we couldn't schedule you in your major section, you're in another section like honors, or you're in, if you're an honors student, some of our athletes, student athletes, they're in athletic section. To accommodate your practice and game schedules, we have some athletic sections. And then we have some general sections. So you should be in a Link 101 section. So do check your schedule and do come to class that first day. That's the number one way that you can be successful is attend class. And the second one is complete your assignments. If you attend all your classes and in Link 101 and you complete all your assignments, there's no reason why you shouldn't ace that course. Ace this course, Link 101. And that'll be great for your GPA. All right? I had one more slide, but it was just this. All right, so I'm going to introduce our speaker, our main speaker. And her name is Megan McCartney. Megan, if you would come on up. Give her a hand. Megan graduated Lander University in 2012. Do the math. Oh, no, don't do math. But Megan, I'm just going to list a few things because you're actually going to talk about your experience here at Lander and how we didn't have Link 101 when you were here. So it'll be great to hear your take on it. And she's going to show you, even though we didn't have Link 101, she had experiences in these various areas, and it really helped her be successful where she is now. She's actually at College of Charleston, which is my alma mater. That's where I got my bachelor's degree in biology, and I got my PhD at USC. So I stayed in Charleston, met my wife there, and Charleston's been really good to me, so thank you for coming. But Megan was a homecoming queen. She was Lander Woman of the Year, and many, many other things she's going to share with you, so thank you for coming.
First of all, I just want to say a big thank you when I got the call from Mark and Tracy asking them, would you mind to come speak to about 900 freshmen? And I was like, sure. But I am honored and really excited to be back home. I do currently work at the College of Charleston. I graduated, like he said, in 2012 with my degree in early childhood. I did enjoy teaching. I taught for about 6 years, and last year I kind of decided it wasn't exactly for me, at least not right now. And during my 5th year of teaching, I realized, you know what? When was I the most happiest last? Honestly. Because one thing you hear people say is choose something that doesn't feel like work, or choose something you love to do, and it won't feel like you're working. Y'all have heard that quote? I was like, well, what would that be for me? Because it's really hard, because any job is actually work. But I literally thought back to when I was at Lander, and while I was an RA, I was involved in Greek life. I was way too involved, which is a good thing. But it was those memories that made me go, well, what do all those have in common? They were at Lander, that's a college, so maybe I could pursue something in higher education, which I did. I taught that year, that was 2015, and earned my master's degree in higher education administration over the course of the next year. So it was I was teaching 4K, working part-time at a belt store in Lawrence, that's where I'm from, whoop, whoop, LA. So it was a lot going on. I'd come home and write a 15-page paper, but I did it in a year. And so I taught one more year. I was applying to different higher ed institutions, and I was living in Charleston, and I did an internship at College of Charleston within student activities, because I remember while at Lander, I loved that office. And what do you know, lo and behold, this summer, I got the best call ever. After applying for like 2 years for numerous jobs, I was applying for stuff that I wouldn't even necessarily be, related to, just so I could get my foot in the door. But I did get the call this summer, and they were like, we'd like for you to be a professional residence hall director. And I'm like, ooh, that sounds legit. And it's in residence life, which relates back to my RA experience. So currently, I supervise a very large residence hall at College of Charleston. There's about 530 students within that building, co-ed, mainly first-year students. So I'm responsible for all of those students. And I supervise the 14 RAs that are underneath me. So it's a lot. And I'm just a month in the job. We are moving people in currently this week. So it's kind of a crazy time. But I'm really glad they let me come back and come to my alma mater to speak to you guys today. So this is just a short little presentation I presented, so bear with me. All right, I just thought I'd throw some throwbacks up here. It just hit me, guys, as I pulled up in the parking lot. I was thinking about this. I was in these seats 10 years ago. Yikes, I feel really old. But it doesn't seem like it was that long ago. And your parents and your grandparents tell you, oh, don't wish these years away. They're the best times of your life. It's gonna fly by. No, seriously, they are. That's the bad part. And obviously, I went back so I could stay in college. Maybe forever, that's the goal. But it was the best 4 years of my life. So I hope you make it the best 4 years of your life. But here's just some pictures. Graduation, worked really hard for that. And I remember the stage and walking across and hearing my family cheer really loud and videotape every second of it. But it was one of the proudest moments of my life. I'm actually a first-generation college student. If you don't mind sharing, could people raise their hand if you're the first one in your family to go to college? Awesome, round of applause. And I just want to say that even though in some situations, depending on your socioeconomic status, your race, your family situation, all those different factors, no matter what, I feel that it's up to you intrinsically to be the go-getter, to, set goals for yourself, challenge yourself, and make the most of it while you're here. Whether it's you that's paying for it, or your mom and dad, or whoever, get your money's worth. Get involved. Go to things. Don't just go to sleep and wake up and go to class and repeat. That you won't make the best of it. I want you to make the best of it. I was an expo leader. This top left picture here, you might recognize some folks in some of these pictures. And at the bottom, really old throwback right there with some really white blonde hair, featured on one of the brochures back in the day. I was involved in Greek life, and then down at the bottom, Expo. Do they still call it Expo? Summer orientation? New student orientation. They used to call it Expo. So, picture down here to the right, I was the new student orientation leader, and that was a really fun experience too. But obviously, I went back into residence life. The bottom left picture. That was at one of the alumni events where I got to reconnect with some of my previous bosses from residence life. More expo pictures. Oh, who's that lovely lady up there, Tracy? Yeah, homecoming. And I helped a little bit with Panhellenic recruitment one year. That was really fun. And then that's a throwback picture at the top from Time Hop. I couldn't get that off there. It's definitely a lot longer than 4 years ago, but that's a picture of RA staff. That was one of my favorite memories, obviously, hence the Res Life position now. And then a proud moment I was not expecting at all. I told my family, I'm like, can you guys just come? Because I'm actually on the homecoming court, because I was a sophomore. I was like, just come and make me feel good, because this is really cool. And then next thing you know, I was literally shocked as a sophomore for my name to be called out. I think my mouth actually dropped because there's a picture of that. And they were like, Megan, move in the line. I was in shock. And so I remember one of my grandfathers, he just jumped up without even having a heart attack. He was like, oh my gosh, that's my granddaughter, So just moments like that. I'll be 29 next month. Those are the most fondest memories I still hold close to my heart. So that's just a little background, a little bit of throwback, but it feels good to be home, to say the least. So, leadership, the L. I just put a picture of this book because in my master's program, this was the textbook for a leadership course we took. But there's definitely a difference between being a leader and being a manager. Leaders use leaders use we instead of me and instead of I. It's kind of the same mindset as I'm not going to ask you to do something that I wouldn't do myself. We're going to work on this goal together. And in the workplace, you'll run across both types of people. You might have a boss that's more of a manager. I think it's good to have a little bit of both mixed into one, but I feel like this class is a great thing. I wish we'd had it while I was here, because more and more people are getting degrees, guys. It's more competitive out there than it was before. So the difference is going to be what makes you look better technically on paper, as well as when you interview. So those experiences you have during college, as well as the social skills you develop, that's what's going to be your big seller when it comes to applying for these jobs, careers that you want. And I just really like this quote. Y'all know who that is? Steve Jobs. Management is about persuading people to do things they don't want to do. Leadership is about inspiring people to do things they never thought they could. There's a key word in there, inspired. I didn't think I did that. I didn't know I was doing that while at LANDER. The role of RA, especially, I just refer back to that. I just remember that being the most intense interview process ever. I walked into a room, there was a large table, I want to say at least 10 people on the panel, and they're just all sitting there looking at me like this. And I was an upcoming sophomore. I had lived at Centennial Hall for a year. And my friends were like, yeah, being RA, like, you get to know the residents really well, build a community, it's a job, you get paid for it. Yeah, let's check this out. And so I went in, I interviewed, I was put on the spot, some very hard questions, like to think on your feet type of situation. And I look back on that interview as one of the first ones that helped me prepare for the real world type of interviews that you have for the career you might choose. Whether it's teaching, nursing, whatever it is you choose, it's going to be not just tell me about yourself, it's going to be on this like scenario situations. What would you do if? Because they want to know how are you with time management, your social skills, tact, like how you approach situations. Are you a professional? Do you represent their company well? Things like that. And I just always refer back to the different jobs I had on campus and the growth that showed from freshman year to senior year was massive. And I'm just really thankful that I got to go through those experiences because that's what helped prepare me for the jobs after I walked across the stage. So thank you, Tracy, from housing. So just to give a little breakdown, involvement. I'm not saying you need to spread yourself thin. Looking back, I did a little bit, but at the same time, I tried to give 100% to each thing I was involved in. And if I couldn't, I would step down the role. I was involved with the BCM leadership team, a presidential ambassador, giving tours around campus. I was a Zeta Psi Alpha, a resident assistant, and then the next year, since I did a good job that year, they were like, well, we want to promote you to be over an entire building now. So I was the head RA at Chipley Hall. Love that place. Orientation leader, and then with those experiences, that's how I got to know more people across campus. And I had some people come up and say, oh, do you just do all this, to be popular or, to get your name out there? Yes and no, which goes into networking. I did want to create a name for myself because I feel like that's one thing you'll always have. And once, your name has anything negative attached to it, it's really hard to get away from that. But if you could associate your name with positive experiences, positive people, and positive roles you've done, you're set. But honestly, I also did it because I paid for my college. Well, I'm paying for my college. Nowhere near done yet. It's all good. But a lot of the organizations I was involved in had grants, scholarships, a paycheck. So I would work in between my classes in different offices. At the bottom, I was in the admissions office, the student activities office, and alumni affairs. I would go between each one different days of the week. So yes, I was everywhere, but I was also around a different group of people each time. I learned their leadership styles, their management styles, and learned more about the university as a whole and how they collaborated with each other. And just saying, the odds of being engaged at work are 2.6 times higher if college prepared you well for the life outside of college, which I think overall, LANDER definitely does that. Higher if you had a mentor, your professors cared about you as a person, internships, or a job that allowed me to apply what I was learning in the classroom, projects, but passionate about the long-term success of students, but being involved all across, here it is right here. If you were extremely active in extracurricular activities and organizations while attending college, it makes sense. You're going to get the most out of your college experience. The next 4 years, they're going to fly by. You might not feel like it right now because it's just beginning, but it really does fly by. And you kind of, I know in high school you were like, oh my gosh, I just can't wait to graduate. I get that, although I liked high school. But college, we kind of said that, but I just want to tell you, take it from me, because I'm not that much older, but don't rush it. It's hard out there. Bills are not fun. Deadlines are not fun. I used to complain about 8 a.m. classes 3 days a week. Try getting up at 5 a.m. Monday through Friday because you have to drive 45 minutes to get to work on time, or you'll get written up. Real life is hard, just to sum that up in one sentence. The more you do here, the more you're involved, the more experiences you get, the better you are prepared for real life. It's a real thing. Networking, that goes hand in hand with just being really involved across campus. On my actual resume, I have listed, I've got Tracy listed from housing and residence life when she was in that department. Zach Helms, people I've worked with, people that have supervised me. At least 7 of my references that I use, depending on what the job is, I've always had someone from LANDER on there as a professional reference. So that's another reason, it was mentioned earlier, your resume, does it stand out? If they call that reference, what are they going to say about you? Because the one thing that I realized after I graduated, when you apply for these jobs, oh great, you have the degree, but you don't have the experience. Well, I'm like, yeah, hence why I'm applying for the job. But if you have experiences that have some of the same skills from undergrad that line up to the job description, maybe they'll look twice at that resume and say, well, they might not have had X amount of years in this actual profession or career path, but things they had to do in this role during undergrad, they can definitely apply that to their career now, or what this job specifically asks for. And the big one I keep thinking about, time management. But networking, not just with the people you work for, but people you work with in the offices, and as an RA, getting to know those residents. I will tell you this, not trying to get all deep here, but earlier it was mentioned, life can change at any moment, and we all say that, and I always thought that too. It's like, yeah, sure. But 2 years ago, this November, I had some chest pain, and I'd gone to 2 doctors, maybe 4 years ago actually, and was told that I had a cracked or bruised rib. And I was a hypochondriac, you're young, you're fine, it'll heal itself, don't worry about it. I was thinking to myself, okay, sure, but it hurts, but you're right. Probably just, stressed out. Well, November 2016, I went to my regular doctor and she said, well, maybe you might just want to get stuff checked out just to, make sure. I was like, yeah, because it's starting to actually hurt daily now. Long story short, at 27 years old, I had just started my career, a few years into teaching early childhood, and I was actually at my school. My kids were in music class, and I was waiting for the phone call. Thank goodness no one was in the room, but I got a phone call, and my doctor said, hi, is this Megan? I'm like, yeah, this is her. Hi, I just wanted to let you know, you do have cancer. I was like, I'm sorry, what'd you say? Cancer? Yes, it's either bone or breast cancer. You'll find out more Tuesday from your oncologist, and this is on a Thursday. And I just remember writing down a Post-it note and thinking, oh, wait, what? Okay. I'm too young. I don't know anybody my age that has a cancer. I don't, just the normal thoughts that you process. But my life turned upside down, and I'm a year out in remission, so thank God for that. But during that time, I was still working 2 jobs because I had to. I support myself. I'm not married, paying student loans, paying my bills. So imagine that on top of, chemotherapy, going once a week after you worked a full day at work to get hooked up to a machine. Doing that, undergoing 7-hour surgeries, having to do radiation, and people were like, oh my gosh, you're so young, you don't look like anything's wrong with you. You don't look sick. Thanks. Awesome, I'm glad I don't, but it's going on for sure. That being said, I'm just saying life can throw you a curveball and you just don't see it coming. So it's always good to have a backup plan and do enough to where you can support yourself. Because I'm really thankful that I was raised to be able to depend on myself, because you never know what might happen. And a lot of it is mind over matter. I just went to work every day. I was like, if I stay at home, I'm just gonna sit and dwell about it, and it's just gonna make it worse. I'll just be depressed, and I'm not gonna get better. Instead, I just went on as normal, put a wig on, filled in my eyebrows, and sucked it up buttercup, and went to work. And that's literally how I think I got through that, along with prayer and a lot of support. But as far as mentally, I was like, well, I've still got to go to work. Who's going to pay these doctor bills that I'm going to every week? Cancer's not cheap, and just the stress of that as a young person was a lot. So I'm not saying that's an extreme situation. It doesn't define me, but it defines how I think now, and it totally changed my perspective as a young adult in the real world. So I just thought I would share that with you guys. It hasn't been easy. Not everything's going to be easy. It's actually really hard out there. And I hope nothing like that, ever comes across your path. But just be intrinsically motivated. Because the odds may be against you, the data may be against you. It was for me in that scenario. They told me that there was no data on the type of cancer I had, because I was misdiagnosed with breast cancer. They told me later it was a super rare soft tissue cancer that 0.000001% of people in the world have, and that there was no data to support whether or not there'd be a survival rate. So I'm like, great, okay, stay positive. And it wasn't always easy, and I wasn't always positive, but I think that mindset helped me get through it, and just my work ethic. And knowledge, when you think of knowledge, you think of, oh, that's why I'm in college, that's book smart, that's memorizing things for a test. It goes way beyond that, guys. And I just like this quote, which is why I placed that on there. The pursuit of knowledge is never ending. The day you stop seeking knowledge is the day you stop growing. So I said that as a teacher too. We're all lifelong learners. I don't think anybody's mastered every single thing there is in life. Your brain has a lot of room to still soak in and absorb new knowledge. Never stop wanting to learn. Find things that interest you. Not every class is going to be interesting, I'll go ahead and tell you that, but make it in a way that it is for you. Because like I said, sorry, I'm being like the mom, but not everything in real life is going to be interesting either. It's just that you're getting prepared for the aftermath. Once you walk across that stage, the goal is, okay, what did I learn? Because you're going to forget some of the stuff you answered on this test. What did you learn? What did these experiences teach you? How have you shown growth? Mentally, emotionally. That's what's going to help you post-college. And I just like that picture too, because in different parts of the brain, it just shows like, okay, you have a spot that memorizes facts, random numbers, things like that. But do you know what tact means? Like if something's taken out of context. And I'm still learning this as a young professional too. An email I might send, I have my supervisor look over because it might be taken out of context by the person who gets it. And I might not have meant it at all, but it was the way I worded it. So tact, the way you go about things, the way you approach people, especially when emotions are high, when you're living with someone you've never met and you're sharing a living space this year, roommate conflict, things like that. How are you going to approach those things? Sometimes it's just good to step back for a second, collect your thoughts, think about things before you say them. I need to practice what I preach. It's an ever-going cycle. There's just some things to keep in mind. Knowledge is power. And I think I did it really short, but if you want to contact me for any reason at all, or just reach out, or if I could be a resource at all, I'd love to come back to LANDER, even if it's in residence life or student activities, etc. I'd love to come talk to small groups. That's my information, and I currently live there at the College of Charleston, but feel free to reach out. You can write my number down, email, if I have time, I wouldn't mind looking over someone's resume for them. I say that. I'll try. Like right now, I'm on overload just because of the time of year. But if there's anything I could help you with, or if anything struck you today, I would love to hear some feedback and comments from you. But before I wrap up, I just was wondering, did anybody have any questions or comments or things they'd like to add? Because I'd like to hear from you guys. Or even if it's just things you're not scared of, but things you're curious about this year or this experience. Anybody? No? It's really quiet. Oh wait, up here. I see you by the light. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I really appreciate it. This is the biggest crowd ever. Thank you. So I guess that's it. Thank you guys. I appreciate your time. And good luck and congratulations to the class of 2022.